So if you incurred a failure to file penalty with the IRS, that is, you filed late with a balance owed and you get a penalty from the IRS, there are two reasons you should never use when you request the IRS to abate these late filing penalties. We'll go through those here today. Now, the failure to file penalty can be really expensive. It's 5% per month, up to 25%. So this penalty, again, could be very expensive, and many taxpayers want to ask for relief from this penalty, what the IRS calls abatement of this penalty. Now, if you can't use first-time penalty abatement, that's the most common way taxpayers request failure to file and failure to pay penalty abatement, you're going to have to ask for reasonable cause. And you ask for reasonable cause with the IRS in writing using IRS Form 843. It's going to take several months for the IRS to go ahead and make a determination in this. But when you have to provide your reasons that are outside of your control that caused you to file late, that is your reasonable cause, there are two reasons you should absolutely never use. Now, if you have a good reason, like you had a long-term illness that did not allow you to file on time, it was directly related to that filing date, and that illness affected other items of your life, like you couldn't work or you couldn't pay your bills. That's a great reason. Again, you'd get a doctor's note there or show some hospital bills, and that could go ahead and be attached to your reasonable cause statement. That would be excellent. But there's these two reasons that I find a lot of taxpayers use that they should never use. Now, I personally don't agree with these two reasons, but the IRS has consistently been upheld by the courts when taxpayers request reasonable cause failure to file penalty abatement. The two reasons are, first one is reliance on a tax professional. Look, you can't outsource your tax obligations. Courts have consistently upheld the IRS when taxpayers try to use this as reasonable cause. And the second is you can't declare financial hardship as your reason for not being able to file. IRS offers a lot of forms. Now, like I said, I don't agree with these, and these reasons are emerging in the courts, as we start seeing more and more court cases being litigated in this particular area. But these ones will get stopped at the door at the IRS, and the IRS will reject your penalty abatement cause. So use other reasons. Didn't have my information statements, for example. Again, illness, incapacitation. Those, if you can prove those with evidence, are good reasonable cause arguments. But never use reliance on a tax professional or financial hardship when trying to justify why you filed late and to remove the failure to file penalty.